JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Monday, April 28th, 319. And it's Friday afternoon. Really quick rant. Just talk about the markets, some names I'm looking at. Go from there. S&P actually very close to going red to green here. Just one of those choppy sessions, right? And good thing, I mean, hopefully, knock on wood, it doesn't happen on Wednesday, but a premium kind of killing day where we open in the green, hit highs in the morning, like 9:45 or so. SPY hit pretty much 554, and then we reversed $10 and the SPY all the way down to 544, 545 and change at about 130, and then we've been bouncing. So we're back over 550. SPY is a stone throw away from going red to green, and just not the best unless you time it right. So you have to have perfect timing to um, buy the puts right at 9:40, whatever. Sell the puts at 1 o'clock, 1:30, and then go calls. Right. I mean, some days, especially when we have a little less going on in regards to uncertainty, there's been some trading, some trends, right? And some trends sometimes is uh, you sell the open, buy the lows, and sell the highs at the end of the day. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, right? But just just not the type of trend you want to see if you buy calls, right? But all things considered, it's Monday, so we got still have the rest of the week, and it's markets held, right? I mean, here's another opportunity. We were headlines, oh, Dow at the low, off 1%, reversing 300-point gains, and all the headlines coming through. All the, it's very easy to continue to create this story of the market is it just had a relief rally, and now it's going to start to head to lows. I I still can't rule anything out. Nothing is, there's still not certainty to the uncertainty, but I still think that scenario is uh, not very likely at the moment. Also today, right, early morning, well, after the market opens, boom, the U.S. dollar sells off, or just a quick drop on the U.S. dollar. No news, really, no catalyst. U.S. dollar's hitting lows against some of these other basket of currencies today, are down like 1% against the yen. But on the flip side, yields are going down, right? The 10-year, let's see, do I even have the 10-year up here? Uh, that so it's like you can make the case, oh, the US dollar is showing signs that the world is not believing in the US's fine, the reserve status, all that stuff, but then bonds are going up. So that's, kind of cancel each other out. All right. Well, anyway, this week's a lot of stuff, right? So we have hard data coming out, the GDP, big earnings reports. I think the earnings report probably more important to me because I think some of this data is going to be somewhat there'll be it'll be tough to to get a clear gauge on what's going on because I think there was a lot of buying and things that happened to avert or at least to kind of mitigate some of the impacts from tariffs. So I think there's going to be a pent up. There's going to be that is going to be good for April, and then we'll see how this all plays out. But and then the jobs report on Friday again. I think and last month somewhere I was talking on rant this morning. Everybody expected this big disgusting number, including myself, and it was actually better than expected. So I wouldn't be surprised to continue to see strong economic data. With that being said, SPY just went green. To me, the big thing is the earnings, right? So Meta and Microsoft have to close Wednesday. Definitely all about the commentary. I mean, I'm sure Microsoft always reports strong results, and the stock always has this like gap after the report, and then sells off despite strong numbers and guidance, and then it bounces. I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing, but I'm sure they're going to have some kind of positive spin. Meta, hopefully they do too. And the thing, of course, with Meta, same with Google and Microsoft is that CapEx spend too. So you want to see that there's no scale back on the CapEx spend because then I think that then you start worrying about the semis, the AI names, the energy, all that. So hopefully that's what I'll be looking for on Wednesday. I think that's probably the biggest catalyst this week. We get PCE data on Wednesday too. I think that's kind of like a non-event, and then the jobs report on Friday. Was it ISM? I think is on Thursday. Yeah, so that's kind of that in a nutshell. So needless to say, I continue to keep things small. I added one trade today. I'm looking at others, but thankfully didn't add anything yet because would have been just a premium crush day and I could have got them cheaper. So let me go through some of the things. Oh, and the VIX kind of flat here today. Actually, might have just probably went back into the red. It was pretty much flat all morning. Then it was up 5%. Now it's up 1% down here at 25. And then, yeah, that's it. Okay. So now individual names. So I got those XYZ calls this morning. It's probably easier for me to call it XYZ. I used to call it Square when it was Block when it was. So finally added. So they report earnings after close Thursday. PayPal reports tomorrow morning. So I think there could be two things. One, obviously, reporting earnings on Thursday means the premium is going to remain well bid, so that's a good thing. And then you also have possible sympathy move with PayPal. So if PayPal reports a decent quarter, I mean they're in the midst of a kind of like a turnaround, so I think that they might surprise. If that's the case, I could see XYZ going over $60. Thankfully, the premiums have held up. They were flat just a little while ago. Uh, let's see, I didn't even pull up on here. Yeah, they're kind of slightly in the green, so that's a good sign. I'll just continue. I'll hold those overnight. How low can it go? I guess it's like, sure, it could reverse. I mean, the stock was under $50 at the first week or two of April. But I think again, the scenario for that to play out under to reverse is slim to none. And then on the flip side, that 50-day moving average 59.84. If that breaks, I think there'll be a nice opportunity. Hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Wednesday to clock some in to cover costs, ride the rest. And if I'm able to get out with 100%, I'm probably going to ride the rest to cover. I'll cover costs and then ride the rest into earnings. So that's Square XYZ. Then Roku, nice day here today. And if you hear my rants, my thoughts here on Roku. I mean, just a great story. And to me, I always think it's misconstrued by the investment community, and the stock is sold off. And back when we had the whole tariff fiasco, it was getting destroyed. And I'm like, people are acting like they're 100% a TV company that gets all their products from China, right? If that's the case, then it should get destroyed, rightfully so. But it doesn't, right? It's not a hardware company anymore. 13% of its revenues the last quarter was from hardware, and it's a negative margin component of their earnings. So it's like negative margin, right? They're trying to get your viewing habits to use Roku, right? And then they monetize the platform. So whether it's getting the TV or the platform, whatever, the app. So that's what they do, and they're phenomenal. Back when I used to trade, when I first started Roku, 60 or 70% of it might even more of their revenue was hardware. Now it's 13%. So you have two sides too, right? So I think it's been oversold on the tariff concerns, and then you also have the ad spend side as well. And you can make the case. And back when we're selling off with the tariffs, is because we're falling into a recession. Okay, if that's the case, I understand some of that, but then you saw Google earnings, kind of like, maybe not, right? So I think those two aside is enough for it to bounce from where it is. You have analysts this morning. You have Wells Fargo maintain overweight rating. I think it was $129 price target down to 95. Wedbush this morning too kept outperform $100 price target down from 125. I think it trades over 70, and then they report earnings after close Thursday. So my calls are up nearly over 50%. They were a second ago. I didn't even pull them up. Yeah, well, 81 by 91. So you can't. I mean, I could try to put it in 90 cents and try and get a fill, but I'm looking to get 100%, ride the rest, similar to XYZ. That's kind of the thought process there. It does have a potential death cross, right? So the 50-day crossing under the 200-day, but hopefully that gets averted. Doesn't really bother me either way. That's Roku. Then just some other names. GPCR was actually hitting highs in the morning, not the most liquid name, so it doesn't take much, all the way up to 2460 in the early morning. Not much to add on here. Last week I was possibly going to add some later dated strikes. I'll probably just be patient, have plenty of time on the May strikes, and when I get a chance to cover some costs on that, I will. GME is red here today, and it's like consolidation. And here, flip side, right? So it already had a death cross, and then I've been waiting for the golden cross, and it's only 16 cents away. Just maybe there'll be news. Maybe it's today. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's at the end of the week. But there's going to be. You have to think Brian Cohen they already made a purchase on Bitcoin. It's just a matter of the filing coming out. And I don't know if it's just going to be the filing. Is it just going to be a quick update? The way GME operates, or at least Ryan Cohen, he doesn't really do much in the way of updating. You pretty much not find out after the fact. But even in their earnings, right? They don't have an earnings call. So, all right. So that's GME. RH, just disappointing here. It's only down 1.8%, but the premium is getting crushed. I think some of it is on the premise maybe the market pricing a little bit of possibility of a trade deal over the weekend. And, it was green in the morning, gave it all the way back under 180. Still like this one. It's been great so far. Since the April tariffs, I'll probably continue to play it. I'm not going to add any more strikes just yet, but as we get later in the week, possibly into Friday. And then unfortunately, Wayfair, right? Finally, 30.99 was that key gap fill at the end of March into April. Got over that here today. It's sitting at, well, actually, it's only 30.82. I kind of wish I got some, but I'll be patient there. But it's something like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, if there's a deal with Vietnam, I mean, it's off to the races. Um, yeah, and that's about it. Just trying to keep things small here. Look how impressive. Just one, name and uh that's been really strong in this tape. You take a look and Domino's Pizza is just phenomenal. Why can't I get this to post here? I don't know. I can do this. Uh, but I mean, just if you looked at this chart, you would say, well, there ain't no recession. I mean, is Domino's Pizza recession proof? I mean, I wouldn't make that case. Obviously, they have low cost food, right? And a lot of folks are loyal to that brand. But impressive stuff. I didn't mention CMG. I don't even know why I don't have the chart up here. Do I have the chart? Nope. Oh, so CMG 52.50 in the morning. So, I held on some of those 53 strikes from last week that I was riding free with some nice profits. And then sure enough, it was going 52.50. I started looking at the historicals. The last 2 years, this has run up into Cinco de Mayo, which is next week. Up 9%, I think, last year, 13% the year before. Maybe I have that backwards. Obviously, it's up since its earnings are not too much, and it was looking great. 10 whatever was hitting there. My calls were up 60. I think they almost hit 70, almost 400%. And then I just held them. And then sure enough, they're back to flat. Actually, they're a little in the red here now with this little tick down. Still like this one. I don't know. It's not. Uh, I would think with the Domino's earnings today, it would at least get a little, at least remain bid. But you have some analyst op-ins like Argus downgrade the stock today. So I don't know if that's having an impact, but I'll continue to hold those. That was disappointing. And I think that's it, folks. Let's have a great day. I'll be back on audio later. Rock and roll.